JBN, we keep you informed. Greenwich Town man held with a gun. The police say they've arrested a man after a gun and several rounds of ammunition were discovered in his possession on East Street in Greenwich Town, Kingston 13 on Friday. According to the police, Jamaica Defence Force officers were on patrol in the area about 11:30 p.m. when the man was observed acting in a manner that aroused their suspicion. The man was accosted, searched, and a Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol, but the magazine containing 9mm rounds of ammunition was taken from his waistband. He was arrested. However, the police are withholding his identity pending further investigations. Brother kills brother. When me see him run out of the house, hold up him belly and a ball out, "Mama!" Me look and see the blood a spew out and me scream out, "Whoa!" and feel like me did have diarrhea. Me ball out again and again and then rush with him to the hospital, but him never live. The pain-tinged words of the anguished 84-year-old widow, Hilda Stoddard, of Johnson Hill, Glendevon, Montego Bay, who is still nervous and bewildered, as the gravity of the barbaric act weighs heavily on her mind. Her 43-year-old son Fabian Stoddard, otherwise called Steve, stabbed his 52-year-old brother Robert Stoddard, otherwise called Gary R. Coco, a casual worker, to death on Friday, December 20. Hilda, her heart in tatters, is still struggling to come to grips with the fact that one son is dead and another in jail, relegating her to a sorrowful new year. She said that she still feels nervous and numb as she recalls what transpired on the fateful day. Gary and Steve live at the same house next door to mine, but Gary loved to keep his place clean, and his girlfriend always a come over. She said Robert was chiding Fabian for keeping the house untidy, and a quarrel ensued between them. Fabian is purported to have gone to his brother's room and began hurling expletives at him, calling his older brother a B-man in the process, and Gary pushed him from the room and told him to get out. Fabian reportedly returned with a knife, which he allegedly plunged into his brother's abdomen and pulled it out. Robert ran from the room and bawled out, "Mama!" And that's when Hilda's worst fears were realized, when she saw her son crying and blooded, rushing to her. Fabian subsequently went to the Freeport police station, where he surrendered to the police and confessed to the killing of his brother and was taken into custody. Me used to talk to that boy all the time, because every day I'm threatening brother them, and me used to tell them to report it. Hilda said while her sons all helped to take care of her, there was a special bond between her and Robert. She shared that she had a difficult marriage and her husband died 26 years ago. Two of her sons also predeceased Robert. One died in England and another in the USA. Gary was so close to me. He wouldn't come home, and the first thing he wouldn't do wouldn't come look for me and ask if me alright and if me hungry. He wouldn't say, "Mama Hilda, you alright, me mother? You hungry?" Him always checking up on me to ensure that me alright. But now him gone. Steve butcher him. She said another of her sons, Reneth Stoddard, who was named after his father, is now living with her and has taken up where Robert has left off. "You know, I have not gone to the police station to see Fabian. I just don't have the feeling to go see him. I can't bring myself to go look for him. People claim that him have mental problems. I don't believe that, because somebody who is mental can't drive taxi for people, bring their correct money to them, and when he gets his money knows what to make of himself with it. If he gets sick and he get tablet, him spit them out. Right now is the grace of God keeping me. My church has been good to me. Bethel Assembly, the pastor and members have been so helpful. They are a tower of strength, as I say. It's only God keeping me. Only him, because without him I can't manage this," bemoans Mrs. Stoddard. Tufton calls the high-quality guards as billion-dollar contracts signed. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is adamant that the government is spending heavily on security to get value for money and has warned contract awardees that only the most competent personnel should be assigned to hospitals. This assertion comes on the heels of the official signing of contracts on Friday to 5 security companies for health facilities in the Southeast Regional Health Authority, SERA. "We want the cream of the crop in public health. We don't want any and anybody," he said, while highlighting that security companies employ thousands of people and provide a very valuable source of income beyond the security benefit that it gives. Cabinet has approved contracts totaling $1.7 billion for the provision of security and related services at health facilities under the jurisdiction of SERA for a period of 3 years. The health authority has also ramped up security at maternity wards to reduce the risk of abductions of newborns in the wake of 2 such cases, which sparked nationwide outrage early last year. The minister said that among the measures explored is restricting access to sensitive areas. Restricted access is very important, so whether that restricted access means more monitoring for visiting hours, electronic security through cameras, and swipe cards to access certain parts of a building, he said. Modern Investigations and Security Company Limited was awarded a contract for $436.6 million to provide services to Bustamante Hospital for Children, National Chest Hospital, Hope Institute, and the Sir John Golding Rehabilitation Center. Schalk Electronic Security, $348.2 million, has been assigned to the Kingston and the St. Andrew Health Department and all health centers across the corporate area, while King Alarm inked a deal for $355 million at the Kingston Public and Victoria Jubilee Hospitals. Marksman Spanish Town Hospital, St. Catherine Health Department, Linstead Hospital, and selected health centers across St. Catherine, $382.8 million, and Atlas Protection, Princess Margaret Hospital, St. Thomas Health Department, and selected health centers in St. Thomas also won contracts for $382.8 million and $193.5 million respectively. SERA is responsible for the delivery of healthcare services to St. Catherine, St. Thomas, Kingston, and St. Andrew. Solve crime by taking care of information, says former FBI agent. Jamaican-born retired Federal Bureau of Investigation FBI Special Agent Jonathan Lacey believes that much of the country's crime issues can be solved by, among other things, the security forces being a great deal more responsive to the public. He said that how the state's security apparatus deals with information it receives is critical in addressing many unanswered questions about solving the crime problem. People in all jurisdictions want to know that whoever they speak to, whichever institution they engage with about their concerns, that something will be done about it, Lacey said. It is a matter of trust, and it is more than about trust at the same time. It is about them being way more responsive. The 22-year FBI veteran was born in Mandeville, Manchester, before migrating to the United States as a child. He reasoned that while there were some similarities in relation to gun violence in Jamaica and the US, the manifestations were somewhat different because of the distinct gun cultures. In the US, for example, Americans are protected by the country's Second Amendment to keep and bear arms, while it is illegal to bear arms in Jamaica unless licensed to do so. Police statistics reveal that the vast number of murders committed in Jamaica over several decades have been directly linked to the plethora of illegal guns in the hands of criminals, and that many of them are gang-related. As a result, the Jamaican government has employed a number of special security measures, states of emergency, and zones of special operations to address the spiraling crime. But even with increased security measures, up to December 28 last year, 1,326 people have been killed, up by 43 for all of 2018, when 1,287 people were murdered. The year 2009 remains the country's bloodiest on record, with 1,680 murders. Lacey believes that part of the problem is how the information received by the security forces is used. He says that solving crime, particularly murders, should mean more than just making arrests. We won't be arresting our way out of that problem. What we need for that is counseling, some social services, and the jobs with law enforcement. Further, there has to be real economic opportunities, social support, and psychological intervention in some cases, as part of a broad-based approach to solve this complex, multifaceted problem of crime, said Lacey, who now operates his own security firm, Security and Training Solutions LLC, in Buffalo, New York. Churches must keep their youth from falling to crime, says Samuels. Pastor Glenn O. Samuels, president of the West Jamaica Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, WJC, wants pastors and the church leaders to do more to retain their young people's membership in order to keep the youth from falling into crime. In an interview, Samuels urged pastors and leaders of varying faiths to make their young people feel at home in their churches. A number of youngsters who unfortunately get caught up in antisocial behavior and acts of violence are youngsters who were brought up in church across the denominational lines. Sin knows no denominational boundary, and there are some youngsters who join the church while coming out of abusive situations. But no matter how hard you try, the pull to go back to their social circles is a factor, Samuel said. The WJC president noted that there was an ongoing outreach drive, originally launched in 2017, to find 7,000 youths within the Seventh-day Adventist Church who would be willing to mentor and be a positive influence to an additional 7,000 young people. We want to find 7,000 strong youngsters in the church who can mentor another 7,000 who may not be as strong, because you first have to strengthen what you have. They may have friends outside the church who don't have any Christian background or have the kind of molding, said Samuels. In November, Samuels repeated a call he made in 2007 for unattached youths to receive mandatory military service in order to turn them away from crime and violence. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.